Hi friends. Not long ago I made a video about KV-5, namely about its buying and first impressions. So, I decided to make a similar video, but this time about IS-6. This is quite an old tank, and now some players are wondering if it is relevant now. So, let's check it out. I'll play 10 battles, on which I'll conclude whether this tank is relevant or not and whether it's worth buying for 8,000 bonds. Before we start, it's worth noting that I'm not a top player or a noob. I'm just an usual player and my WN8 rate is about 2,300. Also, I would like to thank my subscriber Crazy Waka once again. This video as well as all previous and following you see mostly thanks to him. Well, let's start. The first battle was on the Karelia map. On my way to the position, I assessed the situation, and decided to drive straight up, to get more opportunities to deal damage, as there were not many enemies, but there was a risk of taking damage from tank destroyers. Thanks to my armor worked well. Then nothing interesting happened. From time to time I was shooting, did a few damage, and thought about how to proceed. Eventually, in a firefight with two heavies, I got a bit of damage from the ugly arty bastards. Waited a bit, and drove forward. Once again I was saved by the awesome armor. And at the end, death by artillery. The second battle took place on one of my favorite map, Prohorovka. But despite this, at the beginning I lost all my health points. After that I decided to play very carefully, and pulled back. At first all of my shots in that battle were unlucky, but then I got the hang of it, and was able to do at least some damage. After which I was killed by the enemy Barask. In short, I didn't like that battle very much, because I could have done a lot more damage there. The same can be said for the third battle. I again played on another very good map, and the start was pretty good, except for the presence of tier 9 tanks, one of which played very aggressively and got in my way a lot. I saw a free damage, and wanted to get it as quickly as possible. As a result, I made a lot of critical mistakes, and very quickly lost all of my health points. To be honest, I could do about 4,000 damage in that battle, but because of my mistakes, I only managed to do 2,000. After that I was killed by the same brazen TNH player. But from my feeling, IS-6 was doing very well, and I felt confident in that battle. Although I should play more carefully against tier 9 tanks. In the fourth battle I again played with tier 9, and that really disappointed me. But as soon as I got to the position, the fun part started. Using excellent armor and pretty good gun, I started a firefight with the enemy's T-54 and Kunstpanzer. More precisely, I dominated them, totally destroying them. Unfortunately this buzz didn't last long, because an allied E-75 came to my rescue, which was getting in my way and making me very angry. Nevertheless, I got myself together, and pushed that flank to the end, shooting quite a lot of damage and having a lot of fun. The fifth battle was on the Malinovka map. And again, with tier 9 tanks, the third battle in a row. This saddened me. Well, at least the map was good. The most important thing when playing Malinovka, to take that important position on the mountain, near the mill. This is the key to success in almost any battle on this map. Despite the not so best IS-6 mobility, I was first to arrive at the position and start fighting. This made me wary, because if my allies didn't help me, I will die very quickly. As a matter of fact, that is what happened. The allies decided not to help me and just left down, and that was their main mistake, which led to lose. But even so, as you can see, alone I resisted the enemies for quite a long time. The good thing is that IS-6 allows to live even in such hard situations. The sixth battle took place on Himmelsdorf map. At the beginning of the battle I fired a couple of shots at the brazen IS-3, after which I went to the position. There I did not hesitate to use my armor, and actively exchanged fire with the enemies. By the way, like this video if you also think that Super Pershing has the strongest sides in the game. In short, that was the way the battle. I was standing in that position all the time, firing at different enemies, unafraid to lose my health points. I'm playing a heavy tank after all. In the end I got 3,000 damage. Not bad, let's move on. In the seventh battle, it was as if the game sensed that I was doing very well and decided to crush me. Seriously, It was a terrible battle. I couldn't hit the enemies at all, the shells flew anywhere but the target, or anything like that. But my enemies dealt me damage without any problems. For example, the IS-2, which penned me in the turret 3 times. No, of course I understand that the IS-6 is pretty weak turret, which is partly a weak spot, but still. Anyway, they killed me very quickly, without giving me a chance to do at least 1000 damage. Frustrated and depressed, I decided to take a break and return to the game in an hour. But I accidentally clicked the battle button, and entered the next battle. 9 tiers again, great, I thought. But despite all that, I decided to focus on the game as much as possible to do as much damage as possible to make up for the previous battle. And guess what? I did it. I played very carefully, I thought about every move, I was firing at different enemies bit by bit, and in the end, after the last shot, I had over 4000 damage. Oh yeah, I thought. In the 9th battle, the game didn't like that I played a good battle and had fun, so it decided to crush me again. First, a platoon of stupid apes on double barrels, who ignored my request to help take a key position and went to watch a fish. But that was only half the problem, as it turned out later, no one allied went to the mountain at all. I was very disappointed with my team, and started making strange moves, after which I was taken off more than half of my health points. But my channel name has the word expert, and it for a reason. I remembered that I'm playing the IS-6. I gathered my thoughts, and with a few well-aimed shots I was able to do almost 3000 damage. At that moment I was incredibly happy, and wanted to finally take a break and finish the last battle after some time. But I still decided to start the next battle right away. And oh shit, I immediately regretted it. It was as if the game sensed that this was my last battle and, taking into account that I had overcome its previous oppression, decided to put me down. In that battle I did absolutely nothing. From the fact that my enemies occupied the center of the map and all the key positions, to the fact that all my attempts to make a shot were unsuccessful and I immediately lost my health points. Needless to say, even the tier 7 Oni outfired me. In short, a shameful death with 1200 damage. Love this game. So, 10 battles played, let's summarize. First, in 10 battles my average damage is 2400. Although this is not the best result, I think it clearly reflects the essence of this tank. Even considering the fact that I'm not a top player and made many mistakes, I managed to do almost 2500 average damage in 10 battles. This means that even an unskilled player, playing IS-6, will be able to do pretty good results. And second, of course, I very often used premium rounds, which is quite expensive. It follows that IS-6 is not a tank for silver farming, but just for fun and enjoyable gameplay. And if you still have the question, is this tank worth 8000 bonds? My answer is yes, of course it is. This is one of the best tier 8 tanks in Bond shop. And even though it's very old, it's still a very powerful tank in 2022, and definitely deserves your attention. Well, thank you for watching this video to the end, I hope you found it useful. Write in the comments what do you think about IS-6, it will be interesting to read. It's time to say goodbye. Good luck to everyone, and remember, don't play World of Tanks.